Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Good morning, everyone. Today, I think last time the connection was not very clear. So I heard they was mentioning that the lecture was not very clear. So shall I do the Gatha again then? What do you think?
That would be wonderful. Yeah, okay. Yeah, it's good.
Okay. So we'll do the Gatha. If someone is interested, someone can try translating. Because I didn't ask anyone to translate this Gatha. I think we have already explained a lot. So if someone is volunteered, I'll go to the grammar points after that. Who is interested in translating? Hello? Anyone? How about Sally? Would you translate? Try to translate.
Okay, Bhante.
Okay.
So about the singular form there, actually in English we have to translate the plural form, right? Has a plural.
Yeah, you have to translate in the plural form.
Yeah. Okay. Yatha aboja bathui dejo vayo nagadadi. In the place where the water, earth, fire, and wind do not exist. Nadatha sukha jotandi adijo napakasati. There the stars do not shine, nor does the sun give light. Natatha chandima badi tamodatha na vijati. There the moon doesn't grow, their darkness is not found. Yataja atana vedi muni monena brahmano. And when the sage, the Brahmin, has experienced Nibbana through his own experience or his own deep understanding.
Yeah, by himself.
By himself. Athanuba alubaja sukha dukha pamujadi. Then he is freed from Nuba, Aluba, and the Gama.
Right. Sadhu, sadhu. Thank you very much. Very nicely translated. So this is how the Gatha comes, and this is how we arrange the order. So sometimes the words are scattered in Gatha. For the easy understanding, we arrange them in a certain order. So here, if you understand the Gatha, Yatta apo cha patavi cha tejo vayo cha nagadati. But in the Gatha, you see only one cha. You can see only one cha. Cha is the end. But it's also possible you put all the words and put the cha at the end. But basically, we put cha in between all two words, like apo cha, patavi cha, tejo cha, vayo cha, na gahadati. So then, if we analyze this, this is the relative clause. Tatta sukha.
Sorry, Bhante.
Yeah.
Have you started sharing your screen?
Sorry.
Yeah, because the participant is asking about this.
Okay, sorry. Sorry for that. I hope you can see. Right?
Yes.
So here we have, this is how to understand the Gatha, and this is the Gatha. The Gatha, we have one cha. Right? But when you understand it, this is the original cha in the Gatha, but we can put chas in between all the words. Apo cha, pavi cha, tejo cha, vayo cha, nagadati. So normally this, when we add many words with cha, the final verb should be written in plural. That is the normal rule. For example, apo cha, patavi cha, nagadanti. It should be gadanti actually. That is the normal usage. But here we have found the Buddha has used the present singular form. So this is also one type of usage in Pali. Sometimes the plural subjects can have singular verb. Very rarely, this is not common, very rarely can be found in Gatha. So in that case, we can think about the meter. But we can also see this in Vinaya Karmas. That's the thing. So we can see in Vinaya Karmas as well. So it's so considered a grammatical rule, not for the sake of, not the only sake of the meter. In Gathas, we hello, can you see the screen? Because
Yes,
the connection
Bhante.
has dropped.
Yes, we can see.
Hello.
Yes, Bhante.
Okay. Tata is in the Gatha. So he explains what is the meaning of yatta. Yathati. Ti means iti. Iti is this is the particle we use for explaining something. Word plus iti. So according to the Sandhi, what has happened, this A is lengthened and the first E is dropped. First E is dropped and the A is lengthened. So yattati. So meaning of yatta is yasmin. There. So yatta and yasmin are synonymous. The same meaning, locative meaning. Yatta is indeclinable. Yasmin is a noun from ya, the locative meaning, but they have the same meaning. So instead of yatta, we use the yasmin. So that yasmin is further explained interrogation. It's not a question, it's a relative clause. So that is nibbana, apocha na gadati. So they're saying apo doesn't have a, cannot stand there, doesn't have a firm footing. You can see the meaning of gadati here. Have a firm footing, to stand fast or to be on firm ground. So it means it doesn't exist. In the nibbana, apo doesn't exist. Then patavicha tejocha vayocha nagadati. So the idea of the commentators is, the grammarians, when many words are connected with cha and connected to a singular verb, which contradicts with the normal ordinary grammatical rule. So what they're saying is each word is connected to the verb separately. Apo nagadati exists. Why doesn't stand in Nibbana, have a firm footing in Nibbana? So normally we, with the cha, we collect philosophy, grammatical philosophy here behind is apo is connected to the verb separately, patavi, tejo, and vayu are separately. So that's why, in, for example, for your further information, when we get the Vinaya Kamma for Upasampada, I think I have mentioned this before also. We normally say na gocha, upasampadang yachati. So it should be yachanti normally. Should be yachanti. But the Pāli, in the commentators, sub-commentators say this can be used as yachati. So what they are saying is, Naga is the name of the candidate. That is a temporal name given to a candidate. Sometimes one monk can have the name of Naga, but normally in our traditions, we give a name, temporal name, for the easiness of the recitation. It will not affect the Kamavacha. So these are the candidates. This is not snake or this is not the elephant. Naga has two meanings normally. This is just a name. So Naga upasampadang yachati is asks. Upasampada for the higher, asks for the higher ordination. So what the commentators say, Nago upasampadang yachati, second Nago upasampadang yachati, third Nago upasampadang yachati. So this is considered as separately, each word is connected to the yachati separately. But if someone uses the yachanti, it's also correct. It's not a problem. So in Sri Lanka, in our tradition, we use the yachati in the singular form. But when we come to Myanmar, they use normally they use the plural form. Both are correct. There's no problem in it. So if you use yachanti, we are collectively using all three as plural nouns collectively. But if you use yachati, what the philosophy is, yachati is separately connected to the nouns in three times, like nago upasampadang yachati, nago upasampadang yachati, nago upasampadang yachati. So that is why the commentator has given a very strange explanation. Like normally you don't need to explain this, even it is connected with, now two nouns are connected with cha and the verb is written in plural. That is the normal rule. So you don't need to explain that. So why the commentator explains this, apo na gadati, he separately explained apo doesn't have a footing. So why this gadati is written in two places, like connected to apo separately, because of this philosophy, grammatical philosophy. And patavicha tejocha vayocha nagadati. So this also, with this example given for apo, the reader has to understand patavicha nagadati, tejocha nagadati, vayocha nagadati. It doesn't affect the meaning much. So just I want to explain, someone can get confused with this grammatical rule. So that's why I just gave some time to explain this point. But in terms of meaning, it doesn't affect. Like you can have an argument on that. Maybe they were referring, giving emphasis on the separate elements separately. That's why this was used in singular form. But in the end, they don't have a firm footing. That is the final conclusion, as what I see. So then here the nagadhati is re-explained by another word. That is the nature of commentary. Sometimes we explain a word using the iti, the particle, but here there's no iti. This ti is the ending of the verb. So nagadhati is re-explained na patittati. Gadati means na patittati. Nagadhati means na patittati. Doesn't stand, doesn't have a footing in nibbana. So then the commentator gives an extra information, this which was not mentioned in the sutta. This is the information that the students should get. Why? Kasma. This is the question the commentator asked by himself. In the traditional Myanmar studies, Dhamma, they name this, they divide the commentary into this way. This is a questioning of the commentator. So they ask why this question was raised, for what purpose? Why? Sometimes they ask why a different question was not raised. So this kind of analysis is taught in the Myanmar tradition, which I have not studied. So, but I know there is such an analysis. But conventionally, like ordinary analyzing, we can understand this is a question, why that four great elements doesn't stand in Nibbana. So then he's telling Nibbanasa asankata sabhavata, because of the unconditioned nature of Nibbana. Nibbanasa asankata sabhavata. So this asankata sabhavata, I think we explained in detail last time. This utta is a bhava suffix. Bhava suffix means this utta. There are few suffixes for the bhava. Bhava means there are two types of bhava. For example, the abstract nature of an action is the action itself. Action cannot be put into grammatically. We don't divide it further. We don't go deep into it. Action is the abstract nature of the action is the action itself. Action has a doer. Action has an object. Some actions have an instrument. Some action, almost all the actions need the location. So likewise, action is connected, bound with certain aspects. So these are called subject, object, instrument, dative, ablative, and location. So, but the action itself is also the part of that incident. So when we are discussing about an action, we have to always think about an incident. We cannot just take an abstract action because it doesn't exist. Abstract action doesn't exist without the subject, without something. Abstract action we can have without an subject is the abhava, like the absence of an action. Absence of an action, for the absence of an action, we don't need a subject, philosophically talking. We are talking about the absence of an action. So, but still, when we talk about an absence of an action, I'm talking doesn't go, that also is connected to a subject, because that person doesn't do the action. So only action which is not connected to a subject is the absence of the bu suffix, existing, doesn't exist. If we say something doesn't exist, we are talking about the absence of that action and also the absence of the subject. If we say chitta doesn't exist, when you say chitta exists, the chitta is the reality, and then if the chitta doesn't exist, means there is no chitta. So this is a philosophical aspect of an action. So when we are talking, I'll come back to the ordinary part. The action is connected with certain things, certain aspects. So when we think about action, always try to think of certain incident. For instance, someone cooking, the action of cooking, there should be a cook, there should be something which is cooked, there is an instrument for the cooking, for especially the fire, there is a location, the vessel in which you cook, and also with all these coming together, when the fire, when the cooked thing, the food transforms from the raw level to the ripened or the cooked level, this transformation is called cooking, right? The action of cooking. It's like the food is transformed. So this is the entire thing. So when you're talking about action, we have all that aspect. The abstract of an action, the abstract part of an action refers to the action itself. That is, means the transfer, if you take the cooking, the transformation of the food, the raw food, into the cooked state. That is the abstract action. So abstract of an action is the action itself, not the whole incident. Out of the whole incident, the action itself is the abstract. So when we talk about the abstract nature of a noun, that is a different aspect. Abstract nature of a noun is, if you go further into this, the call you to recognize the noun. For example, if we use the word manusa, the human, the example I have given, manusa, human. So we want to create the abstract noun. So we have 3, 4, 5 suffixes here. There are, I think, if I remember, 8 suffixes for the abstract nature. There are few more suffixes. I think I have given this in one of the vocabularies, the abstract suffixes found in the Nirutti Dipani. So the most famous are the place here. This ta should go. It's better to write it here. Ta, long a, then utta, then uttana. Uttana is also abstract suffix. Then ya and a, and few more. So when we connect this utta to the manusa, manusa is a human. Take this as one thing. So don't go into the ultimate explanation of Abhidhamma. So the nature of a human is manusatta. The nature of a human means the traits, the characteristics, the features which enables us to recognize this as a human. The features that enables us to differentiate it from other things, other animals, other inanimate things. So if you take it like it's walking, the human is able to act upon his desires. Another special, it breathes, it have all the activities of a living thing. So we can differentiate it from another inanimate thing. But it should be differentiated from the animals, because we walk horizontally, right? No, vertically, right? We walk vertically. And also we have a broader capacity of thinking. And we have, in terms of Abhidhamma, we are born with a Sugati Patisandhi. So these are the traits which enables us to differentiate from a Dugati being. And also it's Sura Bhava, it's braveness, it's sharpness. So these are the characteristics which differentiate a man from a divine being. So likewise, there are certain characteristics according to the teachings. You can find this in various suttas, human. So those characteristics which enables us to differentiate. Yeah.
Sorry. So I remember the Katyayana gives the definition about the manusa. It expands as a kusala kusane tame manadi janadi di manuso.
Yeah.
That
So
means
that is, oh yeah, thank you for that. It's like he
yeah,
knows good and bad. Yeah. He knows
yes.
good and bad. It is a one definition. So when this is, because there are another point that you raised, this question would lead to another aspect. I'd like to take few minutes on that, where there are three types of definitions. It's better to go into lecture notes, but I think we'll divide it here. We'll write it here, because otherwise they will be in different places. Three types of definition. One is abhidayata. Abhidhanata, sorry. Then vidayata. The students who study the MA in the ITM had studied this. Then the abhidhanata can be explained as abhidayata. There can be some overlaps of the naming. I'm just adapting these names for the easiness. But these are correct names. Abhidhanata means given based on the word formation. It's called not descriptive. It's called, sorry for that, I forgot the name. Sally, can you remember two definitions, descriptive and forgot it. Dr. Ryan, can you remember the definition? In the MA, we studied in the second semester, right?
Yeah, but I can't recall them now. Bhante.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. This descriptive and okay. Anyway, we'll go to the meaning. Abhidhanata means the definition given based on the word formation. So as Syale said, what was the definition, Syale? Kusala kusale, or for the manusa?
Kusala kusale dame mannadi janadi di manuso.
Okay, sorry. Yeah, I cut all. Kusala kusale manati janati ti manuso.
Kusala kusale dame mannadi janadi di manuso.
Janati ti manuso. So here
we need a dhamma. Kusala kusale dame.
So here manati is explained by janati. Janati is knows. So here what happens? Dhamme, right? Yeah. Okay, I got it. Okay. Manati janati ti manuso. So what happens? The root is man. Man has the meaning of to know. That's why it's explained, re-explained. In commentary, if a verb is followed by another verb, mostly in explanation of the previous verb. Manati is explained by Jana, knows. So this is the answer. Manusa is the how man is the root. Then I think the sorry for that. The suffix should be, yeah, there's a special suffix for that. Sorry for that. So then somehow we come into manus. Hello, sorry that I think the connection was lost. So here abhidhanata means the definition made looking at the word formation, word structure. So here, because there is man, we bring the root man, and ussa we somehow bring the suffix and make the create manusa. So these kind of definitions is mostly criticized by the philologists as second like later definitions. So these were created looking at the word. Buddha also has done it. For example, the word kusala, referring to a skilled person, a noble person, Buddha defined very strangely against all the philological rules. So even Buddha has done this, defining the words, looking at the form and giving a new meaning into it. Now, that abhidayata means this is also a certain definition, but you cannot create the word out of it. Like abhidayatta of manussa is having kusala vipaka patisandhi. Also walking vertically. Right. So there are these things. For instance, if I give a very simple example, the Brahmana, Abhidhanata is according to the if we talk about Brahman Anatiti Brahmano, that is the definition given by the tradition. Brahman Anatiti Brahmano, one who pays respect, do offerings to the Brahma is called Brahmana. According to the Buddha's explanation, Bahita Papoti Brahmana, one who has removed the defilements is Brahmana. This is still Abhidhanata because Bahita Papa and Brahmana, we have a connection. We can form the word out of it. That is Abhidhanata. But if you go to the Dhammapada, Brahmana Vagga means should be able to know the past lives, future lives. This is the person whom I call a Brahmin, a person who has attained arahantship, a person who is able to know good and bad. So these kind of lots of definitions are given. Out of those, most of the definitions, we cannot create the word Brahmana. But they are the characteristics out of which we are unable to create the word are called abhidayatta meaning. It means according to the Dhamma, Manusa, to be considered as a Manusa, we have many characteristics. So having kusala patisandhi is we cannot create a word Manusa out of that normally. So, but still it's a definition. So when we talk the Dhamma, we definitions which create the word, that is called Abhidhanatta, and the definitions which have not relationship the word formation, but really refer to the person in terms of Dhamma. That is called Abhidayatta. Right? Abhidayatta. Then Dabbata, for example, what does it represent? What does it represent? Is the human being with a body and a mind, right? The human being itself, the being itself is the Dabbata. For example, a very clear one is kusala. The definition of kusala, Abhidhanatta. I think I'll take few more minutes. Kusala. Right, kusala abhidhanatta is kuchite papake dhamme salayanti kampenti viddansinti iti salayanti kampenti viddansinti. The disgustful evil deeds, dhamme, realities. The reality, these are objects, right? The realities that remove, shake, trembles, or completely destroys the unwholesome deeds are called kusala. So you can see the word is ku refers to the papa. Kuchita, this ku comes from kuchite papake dhamme. So this ku refers to the entire clause. Then the root is sal. And plus R suffix. Sal comes from salayanti. Salayanti is explained again as chalayanti kampenti viddansinti. It refers to tadanga pahana, vikammana pahana, and samucheda pahana. This sal has three meanings. So this sal with ku and R, so we get the kusala. So this word, this is the definition. This definition leads for a word formation. So we call abhidhanatta. So abhideya, there are few abhidhanattas for kusala. Abhideyatta means now arogyatta. It's healthiness. Because the mind is healthy when there is kusala. Arogya, anavajjata. Pakata. Sukha vipakata means it gives pleasant results. So these are also characteristics of kusala. The mind is healthy, the healthiness of the mind, the nature of giving good results. So abhideyata means these are also the characteristic of kusala, but out of which we cannot make a word formation. So this is abhideyata. Then if you go to the dabbata of kusala is what does it represent? Manusa was a conventional panyati. So we came into the human being with a body and a mind, or a human being. That was the dabbata. But in terms of dabbata of kusala, we call 21 kusala chittas and 38. They are associating 38 the siddhas. So this is how these are three definitions that we have. So as the Pāḷi said, for the manusa, when you say kusale dhamme mananti jananti manusa, kusala kusale dhamme, that is Udāna definition. But it doesn't cover the entire thing. There are abhideyas of a human being. Dabbata means what does it represent? So likewise, when we come to the bhava, I'll give you the chance to ask the questions after this. When we come to the bhava, we are referring to these characteristics, these kind of characteristics, mainly the characteristics what we define as abhidhanata and the characteristics of. So now I'll come back. So the manusa, the nature of a manusa is manusatta. So this the abstract meaning of a noun. When we say abstract meaning of a noun, we are referring to the first two definitions, first two types of definitions, not the dabbata. Dabbata is the noun itself. So when we call abhideyata and abhidhanata, we are referring to the bhava meaning, because why this noun is so called, why we call something a manusa, because of this meaning and because of this meaning. So the abstract meaning of a noun is another way, abhidhanata definition and abhideyata is why we call as a chitta suffix. So asankata sabhavata. So we come into the meaning asankata sabhavata means because of the unconditioned nature of the nibbana. There is something to be explained about this word. I think we discussed it last week also. Before that, if you have any questions about this, because I explained a lot, you can ask questions.
Excuse me, Bhante.
Yes, Sally.
Can I ask two questions? Firstly, about the nago, and the second is about the dabbata.
Okay, right. Yes.
So in your nagoja upasampadam yajati, the nago 1, nago 2, and nago 3 refer to, it is the proper name of the same person. Is that right in the Vinaya context?
No. This is 3 people. 3 person have the same name.
Oh, so 3 person. How
Yeah,
do you know?
3 people are asking. 3 people are asking for upasampada. We are allowed to ordain 1 monk, 2 monks, and 3 monks together.
Oh, okay.
So
Okay.
at that time, there will be no seniority. There will be no seniority. All the monks have the same seniority. They are not supposed to pay respect to each other.
Yes, they are like twins, born in the same day.
Twin means like not even like twin. Twins also have some 1 minute, 2 minute difference, right? This is like exactly the same. Because the thing came when the ordination was going, few monks to be ordained. Some said, please ordain me first. Some says, please ordain me first. They want to get the seniority because it's in the monk's order, seniority, you have some privileges, right? So then the Buddha said, there was a quarrel between the candidates. So then the Buddha said, in such cases, you can ordain 3 at a time, not 4 at a time, maximum only 3 at a time.
So actually my question is, so if in this case the 3 persons are different,
Hello?
hello?
I can
so
hear
actually,
you. I can hear you.
okay. The question is, in this case, there are 3 different people. So,
Okay.
so I was linking this to a kind of a English grammatical rules, which is like a neither nor or either or, which take the closest subject to the verb. So in terms of verb and subject and verb agreement, so it's here like every like a subject A, B, and C is linked to the verb. So it's like a complex sentence which we can express in 3 different simple sentences.
Yes, exactly.
Like
This is 3 different simple sentences here. But it's not either or, either no. That is either or neither nor is expressed in va in our
yes. I would just,
tradition, va.
Mhm.
But here it's and. The meaning is and. As you said, there are three simple sentences connected together.
Yes, so is that the same as avijja paccaya sankhara, and at the end there is a samba?
So we need to take the meaning like nago. That no, at that is that no, that one is evamitassa kevalassa dukkha khandassa samudayo hoti, right? That was the subject is samudayo. Avidya paccaya sankhara is a different sentence. They are not connected.
Right.
Right. That one, the samudayo is the verb subject.
No, actually that one, the upayasa is the closest subject, and the verb is sambhavanti. So it takes the close. Yeah. So it's just an idea, Bhante. So I was just asking whether there is another any other kind of the same incidents like this happen in the Pāli text or not?
Yes, that's why I said that there are some Vinaya Kammas. They do they do is it's how to say there are some instances I was unable to get some reference from my friend, and I'll try to give some references on that. But in Vinaya Kamma, especially for the bhikkhunis, it's mentioned singular form. So I'll try to give you more references on that. Sorry for that. I forgot to catch the references.
All right, thank you.
And your next question was?
The next question was about the dabbata, because of the connection loss, I could not catch the meaning. Dabbata, is that, would you mean that is the definition from what the work represent in terms of reality or what?
No, it will be a panyati, it can be a reality. For example, the word abhidhamma, in the word abhidhamma, dabbata means the 7 books, right? 7 pitaka, not books, pitaka, the text. So likewise, and when it comes to kusala, dabbata means 21 kusala and 38 cetasikas. Dabbata means what is it? It's not the reason to define it. When you say dabbata, abhidanata of kusala, it's called kusala because it removes the akusala, the characteristics like agata, anavadatta, sukha vipakata. So we call it kusala. You cannot create the word out of it. Then, so this dabbata can be, it's not, dabbata is not a bhava definition. It is the thing itself. Sometimes it can be ultimate reality. Sometimes it can be conventional. So if you, this dabbata can have another two definitions. The For example, if you have a word like a Panyati word, like human is a concept. I think the connection was lost again. Sorry. So if you talk about conventionally, the Bhata means a being who is with a mind and a body and with the shape, with this all capacities, a person, a being. It represents the 5 aggregate. There is no person called human, right? So this Dabbata can be further divided based on Hatamatta. So for the Panyati Dabbata, when we extend it with the Abhidhamma point of view, we can have Panyati Dabbata. It's Atta Panyati normally, Atta Panyati and Paramatta Dabbata.
Thank you so much.
Okay, you're welcome.
Hi, Bhante.
Hi, Dr. Ryan. Hello.
Yeah, so are you going to say anything more about the task suffix? Or you done with that? Because I have a question about that. Hello?
No, I think I'm done.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, Bhante. Then I have this, so I
Hello,
also
I'm done with it.
Yeah. So I thought about this problem based on the your explanation last time. So my understanding is that the ta suffix is equivalent to the bawa, the word bawa. For example, in the example you gave, the manusatta. Manusatta is in Greek. We can say it another way as manusa bawa. So for example, in your example over there, you say so chitang bhaveti and kasma, and then the answer is tassa manusatta. So based on my understanding, we can rewrite the whole thing as yasma so manuso hoti tasma so chitang bhaveti. So which means the ta of the manusa, that is called the ta sambandha of the world, that's the soul. So we can rewrite it as the soul manuso hoti, which means the soul is equivalent to the word manusa. So based on that understanding, then when we go to the asankata.
Okay.
Yeah. So when we go to that, nippanasa asankata. Asankat, what is that? Can you roll it up a little bit, Patrick? Okay, let me continue. So then based on that understanding, then if we go to the nippanasa asankata sapawata, then we can rewrite that sentence as nibbanang asankata sabawang hoti, which means the nibbana is equivalent to asankata sabawang, right? So it's not that, so nibbana is sabawa. It's not that sabawa is the like the attribute of nibbana, right? But then also the other day you also said that santasa is defined as santo bhavo, which means the nature which is existing. So I guess it makes sense, because nibbana is the nature which is existing and unconditioned. So that's how I understand it.
Yeah.
So yeah. So the ta, that one is that it has the abstract nature, and it is called the ta samadha. It's connected to the nibbana because we write it that way. So we have to add the ta. Yeah.
there was a big connection loss. Sorry for that.
Yeah, Ivan.
Yeah, sorry. Can you make me a co-host? I cannot share the screen.
Hi, Sayali. Please make Bhante co-host. But Sayali.
Right. I think, okay, Dr. Rani, is it okay if I explain that what you said in the normal explanation? Well, I'm going to explain this now, Sankapasa.
Oh, yeah, yes.
I think I got your point. So now we'll move into Nibbanasa Asankata Sabhavata. So here now the reason was, now we are going into the tasa, the nature. So why the Vayu doesn't have a stand in Nibbana, the commentator is explaining the ta suffix the abstract nature. So is the Nibbanasa Asankata Sabhavata. The because of the nature of the Nibbana, because unconditioned nature of the Nibbana. So now, if we, for example, we get Chitta, he developed the Chitta. But animal cannot develop. So we normally use Manusa as a human. Manusa means because of his human nature. And also we can say roughly because he is a human, also we can say. So here, why Apataviyapo Tejo Vayu doesn't have a stand in Nibbana? Nibbana Asankata Sabhavata. So this is the reason. Nibbana Asankata Sabhavata. Nibbana Asankata Sabhavata. Due to the unconditioned nature, we can have of Nibbana is the normal translation. And also translation, we can also say because Nibbana is unconditioned. Nibbana is unconditioned. So how to get this meaning more clearly? We'll just on this. One is we take it as Asankata Sabhava as a Kamadare Samasa. Asankatang, Asankato, Sabhavo. It's equal to Asankata, Sabhava, Sabhavo. Unconditioned nature. Sabhava is nature, unconditioned nature. Asankata Sabhavo. Right? Asankata Sabhavo. Then, so in that sense, we also mention the Sabhava is a nature. What does Sabhava mean? Santo Bhavo, Sabhavo. Existing nature is Sabhava. This is also Sabhavata. So this is the existing nature. Santo Bhava, Sabhava is existing nature. So if there are, when we say existing nature, we can have two abstracts in it. We have two abstracts. It's existing nature. This means it's really connection is really weak. It's interrupted again and again. So existing nature, when we talk about the existing nature, there is something very deep, some philosophy. We have two abstracts of the existing nature. One is its existing nature, having nature, state of, you can say, state of having come into Upada, Tithi or Banga. Right, this is the existing nature. Another abstract of the Sabhava is Sabhava. Santas. We have to say Sabha was Bhavo. Then Sabhava is the Sabhava is the existing nature. Right, Sabhava is the existing nature. Of a Sabhava, we can have two abstract of Sabhava. Sabhava itself is a nature, and the abstract nature of Sabhava is its existing nature, the state of being coming into Upada Titi Banga. And another explanation, Sabhava Sabhavo, it being existent. It means, for example, if you take the Patavi, Patavi is the hardness. The hardness itself is the existing nature. So in the second term, second definition, the abstract nature of Sabhava is the Sabhava. The abstract nature of a Sabhava is the Sabhava. You cannot go beyond it. You cannot go further anymore. Like the abstract nature of a verb is the abstract nature of an action is the action itself. Abstract nature of a Sabhava is the Sabhava itself. And also the abstract nature, that is the nature of having coming into the Upada Titi Banga states. But out of these two, this is the most prominent in our Sasana. This second definition is more important. So that's why I gave the example, Santasa Bhavo Satcham. Santasa Bhavo Satcham. Santasa, here Santa means the existing thing. Here Santo Bhavo, Santa is an adjective of Bhava, existing nature. Here Santa means existing reality. It's acting as a noun. The nature of existing thing is the Satcha. So existing reality, nature of existing realities is Satcha. So what happens when we come into existing reality, we have two definitions. Its nature of coming, state of having come into the Upada Titi Banga, and also its intrinsic nature itself. Intrinsic nature itself. So the abstract nature of existing reality is the reality itself. So that's why the Satchang, Santasa Bhavo Satchang in our Abhidhamma we define as the nature of existing realities are the realities themselves. So when we say Satcha, we define 81 Chittas, 51 Loki Chetasikas and so forth, the realities. So therefore, what I want to say is when we say the abstract nature of the Sabhava is the Sabhava itself. That is a very important point. So the abstract nature of a Sabhava is the Sabhava itself. So when we say Nibbanasa Asankata Sabhavatta, if you make it a Kammadharaya Samasa, Kammadharaya means it is the samasa made out of adjectives. Asankata is an adjective, Sabhava is a noun. So then Asankata Sabhava is unconditioned nature. Unconditioned nature. So if you plus ta here, we have Asankata Sabhava ta. Asankata Sabhavatta is equal to Asankata Sabhava. If you define Asankata Sabhava as a Kammadharaya Samasa, if you define it as a Kammadharaya Samasa, Asankata Sabhavatta and Asankata Bhava are equal. Because the nature of a Sabhava is the Sabhava is itself. Asankata Sabhava. So then the explanation is asankata sabhavatta, nibbanassa asankata sabhavatta.
Bhante.
Yeah. Yes.
I'm sorry for interrupting, but I
Okay.
don't think they are the same, Bhante. I don't think they are the same in this case, because as I said, the
No,
Nibbanassa.
I'm defining it as a kammadare samasa. I
Yes.
got your point. I think we talked about this as a bahubihi samasa, right?
No, Bhante, not. Because here you said
Okay.
that asankata sabhavata is equivalent to asankata sabhavo, because you said that the nature of a nature is the nature itself. But it means
Yeah.
when we talk about this grammatically, the
Yeah.
asang in the nibbanassa asankata sabhavata, the ta, that one, it doesn't refer to the, you say, the ultimate nature, but it is because of the grammar. Because as I said, we can rewrite, yes, because we will rewrite that sentence again as the nibbanang asankata sabhawang hoti. So because of here, the nibbanasa is the genitive case, then because it is genitive case, so we need to add the ta suffix in here. The ta suffix is because of the genitive case of the nibbanasa. It has nothing to do with the Dhamma meaning. That's my understanding.
I got your point,
Yeah.
Dr. Ryan. I'll come to that. I understand. I get your point, the definition. So what I'm trying to say is there are two ways to explain this. So here, I'll first explain this point. So according to this approach, what I'm saying is these are, according to this, if you define it as a kammadaraya, I'm not still not going to the sentence. So if you divide this as a asankata sabhava as a kammadaraya, it's an unconditioned nature. So this unconditioned nature, if you make it ta, in Dhamma point of view, we have the same thing, but grammatically, asankata sabhava is the nature, but asankata sabhavattha is grammatically the nature of the nature, the nature of the nature. So as you said, grammatically, there are two things. In terms of Dhamma, what we are saying is the same thing. So here, so when we say nibbanassa asankata asankata sabhavattha, so now we are telling asankata sabhava is the unconditioned nature. Unconditioned nature is the asankata sabhava, right? In Dhamma point of view, it is equal to nibbana in Dhamma point of view. But when we say asankata sabhavattha, we are referring to because of the nature of the asankata sabhava. The asankata, grammatically, there are two things, as you said. Asankata sabhavattha and asankata sabhava are two things grammatically. But in terms of Dhamma, we know it's the equal thing. So when we say asankata sabhavattha, so for example, tassa manusatta, because of his human nature. So here we say because of the unconditioned nature of the nibbana, because of the unconditioned nature of the nibbana. So when we take it as a second approach, asankata sabhavo yassa tang asankata sabhava. So then asankata sabhavang is equal to nibbana. Then at that time asankata sabhava and nibbana are equal. So here, according to this first definition, kammadare samata, we have to say nibbanassa asankata sabhavo. This is the how if we define asankata sabhava as a kammadaraya, we have to say the unconditioned nature of nibbana. Here we can say the nibbana itself is the unconditioned nature. Nibbanang asankata sabhavang. So when we define the asankata sabhava as a bahubihi, it's equal to nibbana. When we define asankata sabhava as a kammadaraya, we we have to connect Asankata Sabhava with Nibbana in the genitive case. Though in Dhamma point of view, Asankata Sabhava and Nibbana are equal, we normally, there's a way of saying in grammar, even though the same thing can be explained with different cases, like Sanidassana, for instance. So in that Sanidassana, Sapatiga, Sanidassana, the same thing is explained in two different cases. So when we say Nibbanasa Asankata Sabhavo, so instead of saying Nibbanasa Asankata Sabhavatha, when we define with Kammadare Samasa, we can have two definitions, like in the sentence. Why is Apo doesn't exist? Because of Nibbanasa Asankata Sabhava, or because of the Nibbanasa Asankata Sabhavatha. So according to what I understand, if we define it as a Kammadare Samasa, we can have two explanations because of the unconditioned nature of the Nibbana, and also because of the, here also, Asankata Sabhava refers to the Sabhava and Sabhavatta are the equal in terms of Dhamma because it's a Kamma, we are defining it as a Kammadare Samasa. But if we define it as a Bahubihi Samasa, Asankata Sabhavan is equal to Nibbana. So then what happened? Nibbanang, so when we say Nibbana is equal to Asankata Sabhava, then this is what last time we discussed. Nibbana is Asankata Sabhava. Say Asankata Sabhavata means, then if we add Kutta here, we have Asankata Sabhavatang. So the abstract nature of the reality that has the unconditioned nature. The abstract nature, because Asankata Sabhava means the reality which has the unconditioned nature. So it refers to Nibbana. So Asankata Sabhavatam means the abstract nature of the reality that has the unconditioned nature. So in that sense, we have to say Nibbanasa Asankata Sabhavata is the only way that we can define. If we use it as a Bahubihi Samasa, this is the only definition that we can have. So if we define it as a Kammadare Samasa, Asankata Sabhava, we can have two definitions. So that's how I understand. Yeah. If you have any, yeah. Yes, Doctor.
So can we go back to the simple example, the Manusa up there?
Yeah, okay.
Okay. Then over there we have Tassa Manusatta.
Yeah, okay.
Right? Tassa Manusatta, that sentence can be rewritten as Yasma so Manuso hoti.
Yeah. Yasma.
Which means, yes, Yasma so Manuso hoti.
Okay. Tasma.
Yeah, Tasma so Chitang Bhaveti.
Right.
Yeah. So which means soul and Manuso are the same.
Yeah.
Soul and Manuso are the same. And we have in the Tassa Manusatta, the ta, the R is the, so we replace the R with the Yasma, so we know that. And then the ta suffix. We have that ta suffix because of the genitive case of the word tassa.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So then we go to the Nibbanasa. Then the Nibbanasa. Then the R that we can replace that the Yasma. And then with the same analysis up there, then the ta suffix.
Okay, we'll write that Yasma.
Yeah, then we can rewrite it Yasma Nibbanang.
Okay, Asankata Sabhavang.
Yeah, hoti.
Yeah, Tasma.
Yeah, Tasma,
okay,
and then So and then here,
right.
Yeah, so which means Nibbana and Asankata Bhava is the same thing.
Right.
So here, it has nothing to do with the ta suffix. The ta suffix here is because of the Nibbanasa. the genitive case of the Nibbana.
Mhm. Right.
So that's what I mean. It has nothing to do with the Dhamma meaning. That's part of it.
Okay, right. So
That's
that
point,
is, yeah, I agree with that, because that is because this definition, we are making this as a Bahubihi Samasa, right? So like Nibbana and Asankata Sabhava are equal.
Why is it Bahubihi Samasa? Because it's so Manuso. So that Manuso is not Sapurisa Samasa. It's not Bahubihi Samasa.
Because this is one word, Dr. Ryan, but these are two words, right?
Well,
Asankata and Sabhava.
Yes, what I mean is that it's not a Bahubihi. Why is Bahubihi? When we say Bahubihi, it is a attribute of Nibbana. But for example, it's very similar to the word Manuso, Manusa. So they are exactly the same. It is not part of the attribute. That's why I don't think it's the Bahubihi.
Because this is because cover the word Sabhava. Normally, Sabhava is a masculine word, right? So here we end it at neuter. So that is the reason why we say it as a Bahubihi Samasa.
I think it just modifies it modifies the word Nibbana. So does that mean when we say that it's Bahubihi Samasa, we have to, in the definition sentence, it has to be the yasta as you write below. But
Right.
here it's like that's the predicate or it's the predicate in that sentence. So why is it Bahubihi?
Because of we can conclude it because of the word Sabhava, because this is a nominative case word. So this is Yasma Nibbana Asankata Sabhava. Nibbana is the Asankata Sabhava. So this is a Vikati Kama. This is the Vikati, not Vikati, is like a modifier, right? Modifier. So this is the whole sentence is acting as like an adjective. The whole word is acting like an adjective. So Sabhava is normally a noun. So when we this as an adjective, so this can take all the three genders. So that's why I call it as a Bahubihi Samasa. If it was just a noun, it should be Asankata Sabhavu.
But because it modifies Nibbana.
Yeah, that's why it can refer to Nibbana because of with the same gender and same case, because it is an adjective. It can act as an adjective to Nibbana. So why it takes, because if Sabhava is a fixed noun, Sabhava is a masculine noun according to the grammar, right? So it cannot change its gender according to the following noun, because it's a fixed noun. But when you make it a Bahubihi Samasa, the entire word becomes an adjective and it is flexible.
Okay. Okay. All right. Thank you. I'll think about this one.
Okay, right.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
it's a very nice point you talking. So it's so as personally, I think this definition, to what understanding, is Bahubihi Samasa. So I agree with what you say, Dr. Rand, because as you said, because of ta grammatic, because of Nibbana, always ta suffix should be connected with the genitive case of the noun. That is a rule. If we connect to an abstract noun, abstract nature of a noun, it's another grammatical point. Abstract nature of the noun should be connected with the noun with the genitive case. That is a simple saying. Yeah, it's correct, exactly correct. So what to my understanding, I'll also go through this, check with my friend again. To my understanding, if you define it as a Kammadhāraya Samasa, Asankata Sabhava, we can have two definitions. But this is, I also prefer this, as you said, this one is more clear than this one. So if we connect it with the, define it as Asankata Sabhavang Nibbana, which I think as a Bahubihi Samasa. So then it doesn't matter whether it's a Bahubihi or not, it doesn't matter. Then, as you said, Utta, abstract meaning of a noun, if you want to connect with the noun, should be written in the genitive case. Yeah, we can also simply take it as that without having these complicated explanations. If we connect to a abstract meaning, the noun and the abstract, meaning of the noun, if we want to connect them, are connected with the genitive case. Yeah, I think this is what we should have told in the beginning. I should have told. So, for example, manussa and manusatta. So, manussa and manusatta, if you want to connect them, we have to say manussassa, manusatta. That's why we tassa, manusatta. So, the nature of a person should be connected with the thing with the genitive case. So, nibbana, and nibbana is equal to asankata sabhava, right? So, nibbanang asankata sabhavang, they are equal. Manussa and, yeah, this seems very easy. Manussa and manussat. For example, if I say manussa, and out of manussa we k manusatta. So if you put manusatta, this is the nature of the manussa. So then these two are connected with the genitive case. So nibbanang asankata sabhavang. Nibbana is the unconditioned nature. So then if you make it, they are equal, they are identical. Nibbana and asankata sabhava is identical, right? So if someone asks why they are identical, grammatically, we make it through this definition. Asankata sabhavo yasaso asankata sabhava. So they are identical. So when we make it utta, the abstract nature of this. So since they were identical before, because manussa and manussa were identical, when you make it manusatta, you have to put genitive case here. This becomes genitive. So it means if I say the formula noun and noun, right? So if you make this the abstract noun, what happens? The noun change into genitive. This is the formula. If you change the noun into the abstract noun, this noun has to come to genitive. So that's why manussa and manussa, same nouns. If you make it the abstract noun, what had to come? Manussassa, manusatta, right? This is how it changed. So nibbanang and asankata sabhavang are equal. Noun and noun, they are identical, right? So what happened? According to the formula, nibbanang, it remains as it is. Then asankata sabhavang, we change into the abstract, utta. So we made it an abstract meaning. So if it becomes abstract, what happened to the genitive? A noun, nibbanassa, it should be changed into the genitive. So nibbanassa asankata sabhavata, right? The abstract nature of nibbana. So then because of that reason, we change it into ablative case, right? We change it into ablative case because we want to give that's the reason. So this is the simple, thank you for pointing out this, Dr. Ann. So this is the formal, we can bring it as a grammatical rule actually. Two nouns are there. If you want to make the abstract meaning, the next noun become the genitive. So that's a simple meaning. Why is that? Because the previous two nouns were identical. Previous nouns were identical. So why nibbana and asankata sabhava were identical? Because the definition goes as asankata sabhavo yasaso asankata sabhavang nibbana. Why? That is why we can keep it in the neuter gender form. But if we define, there is another approach that we can make. If you make it a kamadaraya samasa, that is a different approach, as I think. I'll also go through this, check this again with my friend. Yeah, so simple explanation. Because of the abstract nature, the nibbana is written in genitive case.
Okay, thank you so much, Bhante.
Okay, Sadhu. Any questions on that? So I think we'll go further. So then natatta sankata dhammanang lesopi atti. There is not even a lesa, remnant or small thing of conditioned realities in Nibbana. So this was a commentary explanation. The commentary gives an additional explanation why there is no apo tejo vayo, right? Because Nibbana is asankata. Then he intensifies, he gives further explanations. Nahi, there is no even the smallest thing, sankata, condition in that Nibbana. So that is why there is no apo tejo vayo, patavi apo tejo vayo, because it's completely opposite of conditioned realities. Sambhavanti doesn't found in there. Then sukhati, so Pāḷi translated sukha is the stars. We can get it in the commentary. Sukha is normally something white, right? So the commentary says gahanakata taraka, it's the stars. So here the commentary gives why it is called sukha. Laddanama, it obtained the name. Why? Sukha vannathaya, vanna is color. Because of white color, the stars are called sukha. Sukha vannathaya, sukhati laddanama, gagana taraka, gahanakata taraka. So the stars which obtain the name sukha because of its whiteness. So sukha is equal to stars. That's why we get the meaning. Otherwise, sukha can be anything white, right? Na jotanti, they don't shine. The stars don't shine in the Nibbana. So na jotanti is re-explained as na basanti, they don't shine. This is a commentary explanation. Adityo na pakasati, sun also doesn't shine. So then the commentary gives more further explanations on this sun. What is this sun? What is the adityo? Aditya, the attribute of aditya is tisu deepesu ekasmin kane aloka parana samatto. Aloka parana samatto, able to spread the light, capable in spreading light. Ekasmin kane, at one point, at one time, at one single given time, this sun is capable of spreading light where? In 3 islands, because according to the Buddhist literature, there are 4 islands according to the commentaries, and also according to the text, we can say. So 4 islands. Of these 4 islands, sun is capable of spreading light in 3 at a time, right? So that's what the sun has been explained further. Na tatta chandima bhati, even the moon doesn't shine. There's a detailed explanation given in. I'm not going to, because it will take lots of time if I go to the commentary, right? If we have time, we can do a different thing about commentary. Commentary studies is different. We have to have a different approach for that. Then is another, what I want to say is that the commentary now clears a doubt of the readers, because the commentator thinks about a possible question and then tries to classify this. Sometimes they do it like that. And also they talk about the possible doubts and then clarifies it. And also the commentator tries to guess what the Buddha's intention was. So he's saying the next term, because it says stars doesn't shine, the moon doesn't shine, the sun doesn't shine. Tamo tattana vijjati, there is no darkness in there. There's no darkness in there. So that is another sense. So the commentators say why this statement was brought in. So he's trying to guess the Buddha's intention. He's telling, Yadi tatta chandima suryadyo nat, if there is no sun and moon and stars there, adyo refers to stars. If there is no sun, moon, stars, lokantaro via nicca andakara meva tam bhaveyati asankan sandaya. So it would be nicca andakara. Nicca andakara, always dark. What, like what? Lokantaro via. Lokantara means the hell in between 3 world cycles, world systems. So there is sunlight doesn't come there. So it should be fully dark, entirely, completely, always dark, like a lokantarika niraya. So if there is no light, it should be some place dark, like the lokantarya. It would be. So asankan sandhaya, because of this doubt or this wrong interpretation. So someone can have such a wrong interpretation. To remove this, the Buddha said, no light, no darkness. So that's what the commentator is suggesting. Satihi rupa bhave tamo namanasya. When there is absence of rupa, there is no darkness. There's nothing to be called darkness, because it's not something to be defined as a material thing. So Nibbana is not a place where the light comes. It's not a place where the darkness is there. It means it's not a material stuff. It cannot be defined in terms of material, in terms of space. We know space either has darkness or either has light. So it's a very clear statement. Nibbana is not the empty space. Nibbana is not the empty thing, because it's nothing to be defined as in terms of material. So that is this sentence. Now in the commentary we find words have been explained, and sometimes possible questions has been raised, and also sometimes the intention of Buddha has been explained. So then the last sentence, Yada Brahmano Muni Monena Attana Vedi Atta Rupa cha Arupa cha Sukha Dukkha cha Pamucchati. We'll try to finish this sentence quickly. So Yada, when, right? Yada is when, it's easy to. Cha Attana Vedi Muni Monena Brahmanoti. So this word is word order is word order has been rearranged, right? Has been rearranged. So if I take it from here, this is the word order that we have to follow. Right? I'll write it here. This has to be arranged in this way. Right? So this word order, this is the word order that we have to arrange. Yada Brahmano Muni Monena Attana Vedi. So Brahmano should come before Muni, right? Yada and Muni should come after, Muni and Brahmana should come after Yada. So the commentary says, so what is the, so the Yada is easy to understand, when, right? Brahmano Muni, right? So these two words, Muni and Brahmana, has been explained. Chatusacca Munanato Monanti Ladda Namena Magga Jnanena Kaya Monayadi Hit Samannagatata Muni. I'm not going to explain in detail. Why someone is called Muni? Because he is endowed with Mona. Monanti. Monanti is not a verb. Monanti Ladda Namena. So the Mona is the four Magga Jnanas, path wisdoms. So path wisdom is called Mona because it understands the Four Noble Truths, right? And also Mona can refers to Kaya, Moneya, and so forth. There are different meanings for the word Mona. So according to the Niddesa Pāḷi, you can refer to it. So this a person who is endowed with the Mona, the Magga Jnana Mona, Kaya, Moneya, whatever, is called Muni. So this is the definition of the word Muni, right? This is the definition of word Muni. So then that Muni who obtained the word Muni, because the Brahmana has been already defined in previous suttas. The meaning of Brahmana has been already defined. So it's another thing of commentaries. When you read the commentaries, you have to read from the beginning. That is one, you can say it's a defect, or because of its conciseness. So always the reader has to, because some words will not be explained in certain suttas because they have been explained in previous suttas. So therefore, the Brahmana has already explained. The Muni, right? Arya Savaka Brahmanu. So is a noble disciple who should be called Brahmana, right? Brahmana is not defined here. Teneva Mona Sankatena Pativeda Jnanena. Now it's explaining. Now Yada Brahmano Muni is clear. Vedi is the verb, understands. By what? Monena. He understands in terms of monena. How? Attana, by himself, as an adverb. Monena, by himself. With Magga Jnana, by himself. So that's what the second sentence explains. Arya Savako, Teneva Mona Sankatena Pativeda Jnanena. Because it says Mona is equal to Magga Jnana. So this Muni, the sage, understand the Four Noble Truths, Vedi, right? Vedi. Actually, what he understands is the Nibbana. Nibbana. He understands the Nibbana by Mona Sankatena Pativeda Jnanena. The Magga Jnana, which is called Mona. So that's why in the sentence the Buddha mentioned Monena, with Mona. Monena Vedi. He understood with in terms of with Mona. Yada Yasmin Kale. Yada is explained again. Yasmin Kale, in one time is explained. One time. What is that time? Agga Maggakkane, at the moment of the highest path. Arahanta Magga. Maggakkane, at the moment of the highest path. Attana. Here the word Attana is given by himself. So the commentary says Attana is Sayameva, by himself. Attana is defined as Sayameva, by himself. So it's further explaining Anussavadike Pahaya. This is not what hearsay. This is not something you heard from someone. He understood it by himself. Atta Pachakkam Katva. The person is experienced by himself. It's like a direct experience. He is abandoning. Abandoning means giving up the knowledge. Not giving up means he's not referring to the knowledge. He heard something. This is a direct experience. And he understood the Nibbana. So what does it say? When the Brahmin, sage called Brahmin, understand the Nibbana by himself, directly understanding himself. Atta, then. So this atta, athati, tapsa, Nibbanasa, jananato, pacha. After that, not at that moment. After that, tassa, Nibbanasa, jananato, pacha. Jananato, pacha means after knowing that, right? So after knowing that can mean at the moment of Magga, or even at that moment because of the understanding. We can say due to the understanding, but here it shows after the understanding of Nibbana. After the understanding of Nibbana. It seems like he's referring to the Phala moment. So then he is freed from Rupacha, Arupacha, Sukha Dukkhacha, Pamucchati. He is freed from Rupa, Arupa, and Sukha Dukkha. So the commentary has two definitions about these words. Rupa means Rupa Dhamma. Rupa means Rupa Dhamma. But it's not just the Rupa itself. Tena, by that word, Buddha refers to Pancha Vokara Bhavo, Eka Vokara Bhavo cha Gahito Hoti. With that word Rupa, it's not only Rupa, it's taken the world of the 5 aggregates and the world of the 1 aggregate. It means Kama world, 11 Kama world, 15 Rupa Avachara worlds, and 1 Asanya Satta. So all the 16 Rupa Avachara worlds and the Kama world is taken from this word Rupa Dhamma. Rupa. Gahito Hoti is taken. Arupati. Arupa Dhamma. It's not just the Nama. It's not just the Nama. Tena, by that word. Rupe namisikato. Arupa Bhavo Gahito Hoti. Arupa is taken. Arupa Bhava, the life of Arupa. Why is that? Rupena amisikato. Because it's not mixed with Rupa. That's why the word Arupa refers not to the Namas in the Panchavokara realm, but to the life of Arupa. So Chatuvokara Bhavoti Uchati. It's also called the world of the 4 aggregate. Sukha Dukkhati. Sukha and Dukkha refers to Sabbhata in all the 3 words. Panchavokara, Chatuvokara, Ekavokara. In all the 3 words. Uppajjanaka Sukha Dukkha Topi Vattato. Vattato. Sukha Dukkha Topi Vattato. It's Uppajjanaka Sukha Dukkha Topi Vattato. So he is freed from all the Sukha and Dukkha arising in all the 3 realms, 3 types of realms, and also the cycles. The Vatta is the cycle. Kilesa Vatta, Kama Vatta, Vipaka Vatta, right? So he is freed from that. Atava, or another alternative definition is Rupati, Rupaloka Patisandito. Is the Patisandhi in the Rupa world. Arupati, Arupaloka Patisandito. He is freed from the Patisandhi of the Rupaloka, from the Patisandhi of the Arupaloka. Sukha Dukkati, Kama Avachara Patisandito, from the Kama Avachara Patisandhi. Now they are explaining why Sukha Dukkha is explained as Kama Avachara. Because it's not the ordinary way. Sukha Dukkha is happiness, pleasure, and suffering. That is the normal thing. But here, when we have the alternative explanation, Sukha Dukkha can refer to Kama Bhava. Why is that? Now the commentary is explaining it that Kama Bhavo hi, the Kama Bhava is Vyamissa Sukha Dukkho. It is mixed with Sukha and Dukkha. We have Sukha and Dukkha both in the Kama Bhava. Evametesma, because in some Kama Bhavas, the woeful realms, we have suffering. Higher Kama Bhavas, we have pleasures. In human realm and the lower Chatur Maharajika, we have pleasure and suffering both together. But if you go to the Arupa and Rupa Bhava, there's no suffering of like we have here. It's only Jati Jara Marana is there. Not the evident suffering is there. So therefore, those worlds are Ekanta Sukha. Always happiness is there. Unless the Sankata Dukkha, you cannot avoid in any life. So, but in the Kama realm, we experience all. Eva me tasma. So then this is the explanation why the Kama is called Sukha and Dukkha. Eva me tasma sakalatopi vattato achantameva muchati. So then they want to say, thus he will be released from all the cycles, all the samsara in achanta completely. He would be freed from completely. Gata dvenapi bhagava. By the two verses, bhagava, maihang puttassa bahyassa eva rupa nibbana gatiti daseti. So gata dvenipi, by the both gatas, the Buddha shows bhagava daseti. What does he shows? Maihang puttassa bahyassa, my son Bahya, of my son Bahya, eva rupa nibbana gati. That is how his destination was nibbana. He attained nibbana. He's free from all these patisandhis and all these lives, and the state where he attained has no light, no darkness. It's an unconditioned state. So that is how the Gatha is explained. It can be a little bit complicated, but when you have the ability to read commentaries, Gatha becomes very clear. So we'll conclude the class. I have taken a lot of time today. Yatta apocha patavi tejo vayo nagad. Yatta apocha patavi tejo vayo nagaditi. Where apo patavi tejo vayo doesn't stand. Na tatta sukha jotanti. No stars shine there. Adityo na pakasati. Sun doesn't shine. Na tatta chandima bhati. The moon doesn't glow. Tamo tatta na vijati. No darkness. Yada chattana vedi muni monena brahmano. When the Muni, sage who is called a Brahmana, understand the Nibbana. Nibbana is not mentioned here. It should be understand, because here we call about the Nibbana. So that is what he's understanding. Nibbana, understand Nibbana by the Maggajnana, by himself, not as he heard from someone else, with direct experience. And after that, Rupa, Arupa, cha, Sukha, Dukkha, cha, Pamuchati. He so is released from Rupa, Arupa, and Sukha, Dukkha. So it has two definitions, how to define Rupa, Arupa, and Sukha, Dukkha. I hope you got the explanation. I think the time has passed. I think it's lunch time in Myanmar also. So we call it a day. And if you have any questions on this, please write it on the Q&A session. We'll try to answer. And next day, I'll be going to the first Gatha, starting from the first Sutta, because we skipped the Gatha. And it will be very nice if someone could translate them, if you can be ready for translation of the Gathas of the first 9 suttas from now on. So I'll call it a day. Yeah, thank you very much for listening.
Thank you very much, Bhante.
Thank you, Bhante.